So, you want to know how to learn to play the guitar? First, let's look at the guitars we have in this world. We've got the classic Spanish guitar, we got the acoustic Western, and we got the good old electric. So I started playing guitar at the age of 8 years old, and this year was my first one. I still have it today. Here's some old photos. So, you know, I was a young lad busking outside trying to get that bag or that ice cream. Back then and to this day, I did not learn any theory behind the music. I was always just learning, and I think the first song I learned was Pixies, Where Is My Mind? Those were the first chords I learned on the guitar. And you know, that's basically what I would be doing. I would just learn some stuff and just repeatedly play over the years until, you know, I just didn't really, I wasn't vibing anymore. So, you know, that was not good. So at some point I left the guitar to sit and collect dust until 2020 when I got into music production. And then I came back with wanting to play the electric guitar, and I'm gonna tell you why it is OP and why I love it and recommend it. So to learn the guitar effectively, you're gonna need something that's gonna keep you inspired and happy when it makes you want to grab the guitar and just play it. The great thing about electric guitars is that they have a very low action. Action means the distance between the string and the fret is very minimal. On most electric guitars compared to acoustics or classical guitars, it is much lower, and this is very beginner friendly. And regardless if you've been playing guitar for a long time, it makes playing and the playability very comfortable. So in case you have an electric guitar at home, you can actually lower the strings with the saddles back on the guitar. It's going to be different for every guitar. Otherwise, you can go to your local luthier and get that sorted out. So the great thing about electric, look, just plug it in and plug it into your interface, plug in some headphones, and so it just doesn't sound like a vacuum. I like to splash on some digital reverb in the DAW. And this would be a good moment to shout out SSL for sending this interface to me. So thank you. Solid State Logic from Oxford. Thank you. And the more you get into guitar playing, you could also, technically if you want to, upgrade to pedals like these. Of course, they're not necessary, but it's great because with pedals you bypass the latency if you were to play with effects in your workstation. So, you know, with the cable you feed it through, no latency, and they got the special sauce. They always sound a little nicer. So in 2020, when I started creating music and playing the guitar again, at this point I was still, my guitar knowledge wasn't that deep. You know, I was still playing the basic chords, you know, C, E, G, whatever. Still don't know so much theory to this day. But once I figured out what music I like, you know, you could just jam along to it, figure out the chords, and with time you can kind of pick up these juicy chords, juicy melodies. So this is a great way to start learning. Just forget what you're doing, feel it out, close your eyes, do whatever you want. These are some of my favorite records here. I like them all, but guitar wise, I would definitely say Tom Misch. I love his guitar playing. You know, he's got the sauce, he's playing those juicy chords, and I steal them all and I don't give a damn because I like it. I always thought his music was so dope, so that's actually when I started producing. And then also not to forget Mark Spear from the band Chroma, also very saucy. I mean, look at his hair, it's looking real slick. Hell yeah. And this is the final boss of learning how to play guitar. Guys, the one and only Looper pedal. A small little pedal like this, super affordable. You can definitely find something in the €50 $50 range, and it's super simple to use. Just click once, start the loop, click again, loop, and if you want to stop it, double press. So that's how most loopers work. I've got a little example here for you how that could look, so let's check it out. So I would definitely say looper pedal is great for just getting fresh original ideas out and practicing, your time and just getting these ideas. It's great to experiment as well. And then once you have these ideas, you can kind of flesh them out in your DAW. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is kind of getting the feel of playing guitar. So this is something that doesn't come overnight. So although I started, when I was 8 years old, I still I had to this day I have like a good feel of how to play the guitar, even though I wasn't playing like crazy stuff back then. But I would say it definitely takes years to play dynamically soft, and it's not like super everything's one. It takes time to get the feel. So video takeaway. What can you take away from this video? Find out what music you like, try to recreate it, experiment, don't be afraid of making mistakes, get yourself a looper pedal, super great, and theory knowledge is not necessary. So to this day, I don't know what I'm playing, I still remember the C, G, E, whatever. Not really my cup of tea anymore. I'm more into that juicy chord stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.